Rowan Nightwhisper. The labyrinth. Didn't it exist on any known map? It stood in a forgotten valley. A colossal structure of obsidian and silver. Its walls not of stone but of polished, flawless mirrors. From a distance, it shimmered like a mirage. A puzzle box for gods. The central mystery whispered on the wind was not of a minotaur, but of the self. It was said that to enter was to be broken, and to emerge was to be remade, though none ever had. Rowan Nightwhisper arrived with the dusk, a man whose quiet demeanour was a fortress against the world. His motivation was not treasure, but truth. A faded daguerreotype in his pocket showed his grandfather Elias, standing triumphant before the labyrinth's entrance, a man who had vanished into its glass depths decades ago and never returned. Rowan's problem was a legacy of silence, a life lived in the shadow of an unfinished story he was now compelled to finish. The first reflection was not his own. As Rowan stepped into the first corridor, the glass wall to his left showed a man behind him, tall, gaunt, with Elias's sharp features but eyes cold and depthless. The figure, who Rowan would come to know as Silas, mimicked his movements with a slight, mocking delay. "Turn back," Silas's voice echoed, not from a throat but from the glass itself. "What you seek isn't here, only what you fear." He was the guardian of the maze, a sentient echo of its deceit. Rowan's first attempt was one of brute force and logic. He tried to shatter a wall with a rock from his pack, but the mirror merely swallowed the stone, its surface rippling like water before settling, flawless once more. He tried to mark his path, but the silver dust he sprinkled was absorbed without a trace. His efforts only seemed to amuse Silas, whose reflections now multiplied, surrounding him with a chorus of silent, identical smirks. The maze was not a structure to be broken, but a mind to be understood. The turning point came in a circular chamber where 100 Rowans stared back, each one a fragment of a different life he might have lived. In the centre, a single mirror showed not a possibility, but a memory. His grandfather, Elias, old and frail, trapped within the glass, pleading silently. The stakes were no longer about solving a puzzle for the sake of a story. They were about a real man, his family, and the terrifying realization that the maze consumed not bodies, but souls. In the heart of the labyrinth, Rowan faced Silas not as a reflection, but as a man made solid, the embodiment of the maze's corrosive doubt. "I am the truth you ran from," Silas hissed. "The failure you inherited." The ultimate test was not a battle, but a choice to shatter the central mirror and risk destroying his grandfather's prison along with his own sanity, or to embrace the reflection, to accept the legacy of fear and become a permanent part of the maze's lonely narrative. Rowan didn't break the glass. He placed his palm against it, meeting his grandfather's hand from the other side. In that acceptance of connection and burden, the labyrinth lost its power. The mirrors turned to clear glass, then to dust, freeing Elias and dissolving Silas into a sigh on the wind. Rowan emerged at dawn, not with answers, but with his grandfather, and the understanding that some mazes are not meant to be solved, but shared. The silence was broken.